All right, everybody, thought I would tell you how to start a Lean Six Sigma project. It's actually very easy and 4, maybe 5 steps. I haven't got it in my head yet, but step 1, very easy. This is the kicker. You need to identify a Y metric. All right, so basically Lean Six Sigma's definition is very simple and straightforward. As a master black belt, green belt, whatever belt you are, basically to get certified, you are going to show before and after improvement on a mathematical metric. So basically you just need to identify what that mathematical metric is that you want to work on, and we call that our Y. And that is because the equation for Lean Six Sigma is Y is a function of X. You have a problem with a Y metric and you want to find the X that's causing it. So step 1, identify a Y metric. I usually give several criteria. They are things that you want to make better, faster, cheaper, or go away. Those tend to be sort of the subjective criteria. You know, you want defects to go down, so that would be go away or get better. You want to discharge a patient from the hospital faster. Cost of goods sold should be cheaper. But that's all Lean Six Sigma is showing before and after improvement on a mathematical metric. The difference is we don't guess at what the X's are or the causes. All right, the X's are the cause or causes. We don't guess. We use data to collect and prove or disprove whether or not it's a cause. So once you've identified your Y metric, step 2, you have to make the Y measurable. You have to make the Y measurable. I cannot work on a process that is not doing very well. If you called me up and said our employees are not motivated, I would simply tell you, I'm sorry, I can't work on that because it's not measurable. Now, what I can do is sit here and help you try to figure out how to make it measurable so that I have a singular Y to work on. So if you say the process isn't working very well, maybe in the discussion we could find out that currently it takes 2 hours to discharge a patient from the hospital and you want to get it down to 1. Now we've made the Y measurable, okay? And there's going to be more to that if you take my class. We're going to develop something called an operational definition because this is going to be really measurable. Step 3, you go get the data. All right, so let's play that example. It takes 2 hours to discharge a patient. You want to get it down to 1. Basically, I need this data. And what I'm going to show you here is it may be a different way than we normally measure it in an Excel spreadsheet or something like that. I also want to highlight that data does not exist magically in an Excel spreadsheet often or the way we want it. Many times you have to manually go out and collect this information. Once you have the data, step 4, you determine, all right, there goes my spelling, you determine what type of data you have. And basically data comes in 2 types. You have continuous and discrete. All right, continuous and discrete. All right, and basically data type is going to dictate what you do next. If it's continuous, you're going to see histograms, you're going to calculate capability by having an upper or lower spec limit, you're going to look at stability on a control chart. If it's discrete, you're probably going to do a Pareto chart, you're going to calculate sigma differently using opportunities, N, defects, etc. So data type dictates what you do next because everyone teaches DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control, but what I teach is measure, define, analyze, improve, and control. I think if you're honest, if you're an expert right now listening to me, I think if you're honest, you realize that you can't write a problem and goal statement until you've done the measure phase. How can I say that it currently takes 2 hours to discharge a patient if I haven't done the measure phase? So this is something that I'm very particular about, and when I teach step 5, you go complete the measure phase for that type of data. And one of the other powers of doing it that way, I think, is sometimes, not often, but sometimes I'll go do the measure phase, there isn't a problem. What we thought was a problem doesn't exist, or perhaps, you know, isn't as bad as we thought, or you may find that someone's already started working on it. You didn't know that until you looked in the data. So basically, those are the steps to starting a Lean Six Sigma project. Identify a why. I'll give you one more quick example. Lee is 244. He wants to be 225. So clearly my why is pounds. I'm going to go get the data, okay? I'm going to make the why measurable. I'm going to define what pounds are. Am I going to measure in the morning? Am I going to measure in the afternoon? Is it going to be the average of a week? What is it going to be? I'm going to get the data. Pounds is continuous, so I'm going to do my histogram and my capability and my control chart. All right, so hopefully that gets you going.